These are the Klipsch 7s. I don't like them that much. There's a reason I'm doing the 7s and the 9s in this video. I had a friend come over. Story time. If you're a patron, you've probably heard this already. Check out my Patreon and subscribe star. Get the $10 chat to actually hear these sorts of things when they happen. Friend came over. He's a Klipsch fanatic. He wanted to hear the Klipsch surround sound. I had the 80-60 towers. And before he left, he had to hear the 7s and the 9s. The 5s I sold in the yard sale. Thank you to Klipsch for sending me to, that was Munich. I think I sold those to go to Munich. So, like, the 5s, whether it's the McLarens or not, I was fucking jazzed for the 5s. Like, I was, like, astonished. And so, like, I have, like, the 7s and the 9s are coming, and I just did the fluids. The fluid Image 2s are, like, the best speaker ever. But, you know, I'll reduce my expectation a little bit, because these are, like, half the price. Third the price? Less. And I'm like, all right, he wants to hear the 7s and the 9s. They're not fully broken in. You know, I do like to run a speaker for a couple dozen hours beforehand. And we put the 7s up right after the 80-60s, right after the Image 2s, and we go, is something wrong? They don't jive. There's no cohesion. There's low one, but there really isn't. Like, something sounds fucking off. So we use them for like 45 minutes, and I'm playing with settings and making sure that I don't have room correction on, and and we're just like, maybe, you know what? Maybe let's just try the 9s. This video is containing 2 speaker reviews, the 7s and the 9s. The 9s, I could tell you, without break-in, were fucking phenomenal. And the 7s, with break-in, because now we've set them up after 100 hours of just playing pink noise while clamped to each other in reverse phase, because I do that, there's something wrong with them. And here's the thing, though. To an untrained ear, to someone who's just like straight out of it, like, hey, I've never heard a speaker before you put this on, and they'll be very impressed. But as someone who is pretty much obsessed with the 5s, just had the tower speaker equivalent of the best Klipsch I've ever heard, these just have something off. Just something little. It's a tiny thing. And it's hard to nail down exactly what it is. I've tried different positions. Move it closer to the wall. I cleared out that whole space so I can get speakers against the wall so they perform more low end. And it's just... it's not bad. Like, this is good. This is energetic. But it feels... the only way I can describe it is it feels like there's a hole in the middle of the sound. And I'm waiting for the people to say, well, Zeos, your room isn't treated properly. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but if every speaker I put in here is getting the same treatment, then the room treatment doesn't really come into effect. Everyone's got the same chance to do it, especially if it's the same design. The 5s are in this room, 7s in this room, 9s in this room, the fucking giant, stupid, I love you fluids, Image 2s are in this room. You know, pick a speaker, pick an RB42, and it's in the same room and these same acoustics. So why does it sound like this? I'm exaggerating the badness a little bit. Like, again, anybody else who's never been like, hey, I just bought these speakers. I think I didn't even have the page open. I just wanted to get this video. I had to start this video. I think these are like $1,600, $1,700, under $2,000. They look the part. They look, where the fuck are the grills? Grills. You're the grills for the 9s. If you want to know the difference in size between the 7s and the 9s, it is substantial. I'm not a big fan of this particular color, where you have basically the black on black on black silver, but let's cover that because we don't want to see that. So just they're very classy. Same exact control surfaces as the 5s. If you watch my review of the Klipsch 5s or the Klipsch McLaren 5s, you get digital wheel up top, scroll down volume, scroll up, source selector. When the speaker turns off, you just wiggle that around and it's like, I'm awake now. You do get a subwoofer out. I did actually have this hooked up with the Klipsch 14-inch subwoofer to help it, but you know, that's one thing that you could add it in to help, but it shouldn't need the help. Not when you take this, what the Klipsch 5s were, make it bigger, and then if somehow it fails, yeah, we're going to make it bigger again. I'm finishing this up. The 7s, I could talk more about the lacks of the 7s when I get the 9s up, which is going to be in like 14 seconds. it feels like there's like water in my ears. Like it's like, what is... It's like the DSP's wrong. Hold on, let's make those. Oh, we gotta change wallpapers. Can't have the same wallpaper twice. That's dumb. Yeah, I like that one. Do it. Okay. So now, both wallpapers will be available in the wallpaper hoard below. And don't forget to check out my Patreon subscribe star. So now the 9s are up here. And I'm so glad I had someone here to be like a confirmation of this, because I'm usually here alone. Maybe there's a cat that's wandering around, but they have very few opinions on audiophile things. And we put the 9s up, and they are significantly larger. If you haven't like noticed, because that's almost an 8. I think it's an 8. It should be an 8. It's called the 9s. But the 7s are a 6.5 and the 5s are a 5. And now you can hear the good. The good is returned. Where the hell is the remote? It's like, I couldn't, like, that was actually giving me anxiety. They've been sitting up here for like 2 days, and I'm just like, I gotta get this out of the way. Because now we're sitting in front of the 9s. And where's the thingy that makes the fire go? Here. Okay. Echo. Turn on Narberth RGB. Okay. Oh, yeah. It's all right there in the moonlight. There's a presence. There's a forcefulness. There's a grace. Like I'm going to start whipping out all the audiophile terms that I don't like using. It's like, oh my God, the air in the room was filled with floating baloney monsters. I don't fucking know. There's just, it's more subtle. Like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with this. The 7s, there's something that doesn't add up. The 5s were exceptionally good for their size. The 7s are the middle child, and whatever's happening in these 9s, which you gotta get serious if you're getting the 9s. Hold on. Yeah, no, the word is epic. Not with a Q, with a C. They just present this, are you even seeing what I'm seeing? You can go and you can be the boring person. I do truly enjoy the, oh God, the cat's been by this, hasn't it? I truly enjoy this sort of look. The, hey, I found these in Grandpa's attic. Look. Like, oh, those are old-looking speakers. Look at these old-looking speakers. Truthfully, old speakers are about that deep. I think they're twice as deep as that. And I think the metal control on top would do it. And also, the HDMI ARC, so that you have the audio return channel from your TV if you want to do, like, streaming from your Plex on the TV or whatever apps, Amazon, Prime, etc., Netflix. You could hook that up into this. You get your phono inputs with line and phono. You get your auxiliary input with a 3.5 millimeter, which no one ever is going to use. You get your sub out, which the remote control, which is here in my pants, which is where everything belongs, in my pants. You have an adjustment for sub up and down. You have power, you have play pause, which is when you're on Bluetooth, you can control it, or USB. I think you might be able to control it USB. I don't hook up to the thing. You have your sub reset, your TV button, which is legitimately the ARC. You have your Bluetooth setup, your auxiliary, your optical, which is what I'm currently using. I'm using optical, computer, USB, matrix audio, X-Bit of 3 to fiber optic. So it's about as clean as you're getting. I'm using Wasapi on here. There's no room correction setup, USB and phono, which auxiliary will be 3.5 since you have a switch to go phono, and that's basically the inputs. So you get your volume up, down, mute, and then sub down and up. The thing is, I don't believe, we could test this actually, I don't believe that it actually cuts any low end off of the speaker when you hook up a sub, which should absolutely be a thing for a speaker in this price range. Here, we will We'll test this by actually testing it. We'll put on a bassy track. Shit, dog. I didn't ask you to come on that fast. And we'll just plug this in with the subwoofer muted. But we'll see. We'll play that again. Definitely got the rumbies. Plug in the sub out and play it again. I don't think it cuts off the low end. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. Hold on. Give me one more of those. Okay, it does cut off the low end. Thank God. I couldn't tell on the sevens. On the sevens, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if it was cutting off the low end because I couldn't find any low end in the sevens to begin with. Because I mean, the edifier, little tiny ones down there, actually do that where you plug it in. So now, you don't need to send these low end from these monsters, these behemoths, into a sub. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. They're literally microwave ovens on their side. I love this look. The old school, like I've got them up on some black stands and some cinder blocks just to get the height right. But when you take off this cover and people can see what you're fucking with. Also, I also want to mention, I actually ran my hand back here because this was glued to that and I could actually see where it was glued. I didn't like that. So I took it out and I gave a little bit of a little freedom to sort of like sit there. You could see where the thing is. The nines here, I've been itching to get them up on the stands. I'm done with the passive speakers. I got to do some other things with the fluids over there. I need a set of speakers here that I can actually sit down and enjoy. And it wasn't going to be the sevens. I couldn't let it be the sevens. I gave them 2 fucking days. You had 2 days and 100 hours of break-in to hit me with like this magic. So I don't know. As far as impressiveness goes, I'm gonna give it to the 5s. Because these speakers perform like they look. The 5s sounded massive compared to how they were. They were so tiny. These are gargantuan. These are statements. You put this in your living room or bedroom or bathroom or on your yacht or in the top of your helicopter. I don't know, is there a speaker system in helicopters? It should sound exactly like it does. It is a 1-for-1 match with how you think it sounds. It is pristine DSP corrected horn Klipsch in the modern 2022-2023 era. Get the mouse. Stop mouse. And enough low end to the only thing that's missing is there is no bass and treble. There's no tone control. You get what you get, and you can't always get what you want. If I wanted to raise the bass, the only answer is plug it into a sub. Because if I hit sub up on this, that isn't a bass adjustment for the speakers themselves. That is just an adjustment for the line out, which will then raise and lower the subwoofer. This is a super convenient feature. If you live in an apartment building, if you live in a place where there is a baby that is ever going to sleep ever again, you get to play whatever you like during the day, subwoofer blended in, the bass taken away from these speakers, moved over to a sub. Oh, the baby's sleeping. Down, 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 down. Yes, you'll be missing low end, but you have that ability. You have literally the ability to go boop, reset, and bring the subwoofer back on. I think someone at Klipsch definitely has this scenario in their lives because they've been working way too hard to make this work.
1, 2, 3.
That right there. Perfect imaging. I'm actually going to move them a little bit. Let's give them a little bit of a slide. I feel like they don't need the wall. Like the sevens needed the wall. These, by the way, furniture sliders are amazing. And we have these nice lines I drew on the ground. I highly recommend anyone who's serious about listening to music just starts getting a magic marker out and fucking up their entire living space. So let's see, we got the line there, 3 or 4, this is way too far forward. And I would normally get out the actual laser, I have a laser that draws a laser line and does it. We're just trying to get them like... Oh, yeah.
10 feet.
This is Oblivion, Temples of Our Gods. You know, these are the things I'm talking about. When I had that dream years ago, go back to my first review of the Klipsch 5s, and you know what I said? God, I wish there were Klipsch 6s, which would be those. I never even dreamed of the Klipsch 9s. This sort of passive-aggressive, because that's the thing, though. It's like, it looks like it's a Klipsch. In your mind, you're saying, giant horn, fucking 8-inch, it's going to be just a V-shaped nightmare. But it's not. It like walks into the room, it steals your girlfriend, it steals your mom, it steals your fucking sister's girlfriend's mom. It impresses the shit out of every audiophile in the room. It isn't a stupid party speaker. This is an audiophile speaker. And this is edging more towards the $3,000 mark. You know what? I got it. Give me a second. I gotta check. Well, slap my ass and call me Shirley. I was way off. I haven't like actively like looked at the price. It hasn't been a sale. These monsters are $1,500. When the Klipsch 5s came out, I remember them being like expensive, like $800-900. You know what the Klipsch 5s are now? Not that. Klipsch 5s, the non-McLaren ones, are $417. What? $417 of the 5s is you're stealing them. The 9s McLaren is $1,900 for the McLaren edition of these. And you don't want to know what the 7s are? Because here's where it gets painful. The 7s are $1,300. That makes no fucking sense. That makes no fucking sense. Why would you have a $400 speaker, a $1,300 speaker, and a $1,500 speaker? These should be $1,000, and then I wouldn't recommend them. At $1,300, spend the extra $200 and get the world's like most. These should be a benchmark speaker for anyone who's like, I want to put something beautiful in my living room that performs, that has a heritage of its build and its brand, that shows technological advancement. Why? Why on earth? On the greenest of earths, why on earth? Why, I'm hitting the wrong thing. Would you ever get the 7s? If you need small, you're gonna spend $400 and you're gonna get the 5s. If you want to go larger, granted, it is quite a singular amount here. It is quite an amount larger. You look, what are you gaining here? Like 1.25 inches, like 4 centimeters wider, and it's like 3. It's tall. She big. All right, I'll give you that. She big. But if you're gonna go, no half measures. Go all the way. Because the only thing that goes past this and like the 80, 60, or 8,000 towers are RF7s, which I think the 860 towers beat. And then you're getting into like Forte 4s for $5,000. You're not. And I'm honestly sitting here trying to think of an actual self-powered DSP corrected speaker, sans image too, because that's a studio monitor and requires all sorts of things, that competes with this. And you're getting up to boot cart levels, and again, that's $5,000. If you locked me in a room 40 minutes ago and put a gun to my head and said, how much do you think the Klipsch 9s are worth? I would have said $1,500 each, but they can't be sold individually because they're not studio monitors. I would have absolutely put these at a $2,600-$2,700 pair, just without question. Their capabilities and their looks and their actual tuning. It's beautiful. That's, by the way, Eric Cartman from South Park singing Come Sail Away. And he is right there. Right there. I don't know why Klipsch doesn't just... I think I missed the room where Klipsch had these set up at like Expona. Just these in a room. Run a fucking fiber optic cable out of a laptop, out of a converter box, USB. That sound, that's 1970s. The depth, like every sound that is supposed to be like a big, robust sound is there. I wish that light, airy. The tweeter is so well done. Again, DSP is magic. DSP stands for digital signal processing. So as long as you're feeding this a digital signal, I'm against a lot of people's... If you send an analog signal into this, it has to convert it back to digital to do its DSP magic, to then convert it back to analog to give you the output. So if you can, ARC is fine. USB... Is there USB? I'm trying to remember if there's USB. I believe there was. Yeah. USB is fine. Optical is fine. ARC is fine. I guess Bluetooth is fine since it's a digital format. It's not converting it. But I would avoid trying to use this like with a preamp into it, because it's just whatever gains you might have from using a more expensive DAC to feed it will get lost in the double conversion process. And I love this color. God, I love this. I say I love this color. I love this color. And I love this color of the grills. I think the black, like it's the same here. So I'd like them to do something, like maybe the cone, give me the classic Klipsch cone color on this, maybe, I don't know. Something. I feel like the looks, while striking, sort of like going with that, like it's just got the same thing in the front. Like outside, if you're leaving these on, which... my audiophile, my speaker lover vibes are just like, don't do that. Oh, don't cover that. No, stop. Zeos, fuck. Oh God, no, don't. But I want to. They don't even have any exposed hardware. But this is very soft. A lot of speaker surrounds, when you touch them, they get stiff. So they're trying to throw a ton of low end. The soft ones are the delicate ones. It's probably why the HSU subwoofer is so good. It's got a soft surround. If you're willing to cover them with the light color, and you can get it to blend into your decor, which, by the way, I think red curtains and concrete, which I'm gonna fix that, don't worry, work. This is Mogwai, friend of the night. I can't play too much. Again, YouTube. Interstellar. Oh, the natural. Oh, how loud do they get? I should probably figure that out. I'm just gonna hold up. I think we're there. Let's see. This is a very quiet song. I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna not accidentally next track it. Okay, guess what? Do not ever. That is so insanely loud. No. I could have looked at the top. Oh, another thing that bothers me about this. Number one, I don't think anyone's actually going to use their top controls in this. Almost ever. Like, especially like the big set like this. Maybe the 5s, if they're on your desk. Someone said, I bought the 5s because you loved them, Zeos, and I love them, they're on my desk. Maybe the 5s, but even then, it's kind of awkward if they're sitting in the right spot. That's the only indicator that the speaker is on and what the volume level is at. Because when you adjust the volume, it shows all the levels. And if you adjust the volume with the remote, it'll also show all the levels. But only as someone who's very above the speaker. I would appreciate something else somewhere just giving me some sort of indicator that I'm about to fucking die. I mean, I'm a lunatic, so I would go and get like a little mirror and just have it like right here, so I could visualize it. But I mean, most people are not gonna. Delicacy through power. It's like performing surgery with one of those robots at a fucking car factory that can like rip a human body in half. But it's like, no, I'm just gonna Just gonna cut the aorta now. That's what these feel like. These feel like they're so overpowered for the amount of finesse they have. Overpowering finesse. Just like me. Links to these. I'll link to the 7s. I'll link to the 5s. Don't buy the 7s. There's fucking no reason. If they were several $100s less than these, more than 2, and I was like, all right, well, they sound okay enough. No, don't. I can't believe the price on these is only $1,500. This shouldn't be this cheap. I feel like Klipsch is selling themselves short. They've got such a tremendous amount of speaker here, and they should probably charge more. I'm not saying they're gonna, and if they do, you can hate me in the comments, but it gives you everything you gain from a giant horn, which I know some of you out there are some horny ass people. Trust me, I'm one of you. And I'm a Klipsch fanboy as well. I got Klipsch in every fucking theater of my house. I got Heresies in the big theater. I got Fortes in the upstairs. Those are Klipsch. These stand right up there with some of the best speakers they've ever made, and probably some of the best self-powered speakers I've ever heard. Sans Buchart and whatever the fuck those Image 2s can do. But this is definitely the more classic sound of what you want to get. This is Kruder and Dorfmeister, original bedroom rockers from the Hacker soundtrack. Yeah, I would love to play music, so I will at the sound demo, available only to supporters, Patreon and Subscribe Star, $5 a month, let you see reviews early, participate in the yard sales, definitely putting those in the yard sale. I think these will stay here forever until the 12s come out. Oh, I almost forgot. Switch here, primary, left, or right. Thank you. That's all I've ever asked for. So I can put them on either side depending on what's more convenient for plugs.